Welcome to episode 63 of the Valley Sports Talk podcast. This interview is brought to you by Game 7 Apparel. Game 7 Apparel is also sponsoring us with a giveaway. To win this hoodie, all you have to do is like this video you're watching, subscribe to Valley Sports Talk, and DM us proof. The link to our Instagram will be down below. We want to thank Game 7 for sponsoring this interview. Welcome back to another Valley Sports Talk interview. Today we are joined by Nipissing Lakers basketball player Owen Hagerty. Owen, how are you today?
I'm doing good, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
We want to thank Game 7 Pro Shop for sponsoring this interview. Make sure you guys enter the giveaway. It's very easy. These steps are in the promo that you just heard. So without further ado, we'll jump right into the interview with Owen. Owen, we would like if you could give a quick introduction about yourself.
Well, like Noah said, I play on the men's basketball team here at Nipissing. I've been playing basketball since grade 6, and I'm hoping to keep that going for a couple of years.
Yeah. Who would you say are your biggest motivators or influencers when you first started playing basketball?
When I first started, I would say it was my first ever basketball coach. His name was Mr. Braden, and he really enjoyed basketball, and he really liked me, and I really got a love for the game from him, and I pursued it ever since. But more recently, it's been my brother Jack, who also plays on the Nipissing basketball team with me, and you know I came here after him, so I think he's really pushed me to where I am now.
You just mentioned that grade 6 was when you first got in. Growing up, was like playing at a university level always the goal, or was just something that came about?
You know what? I don't think it was always the goal. I never knew what I wanted to be growing up. I didn't know if I wanted to stick with sports or anything like that, but since a young age, I stuck with basketball. Once I hit grade 6, I did a lot growing up. But once I hit grade 6, it was mainly basketball I focused on, and I stuck with it from there. And I think around grade 11, I was being told by like my coaches and stuff that if I keep working hard, I have a chance to play university ball. So yeah, I think around grade 11 is when I really decided that I want to pursue and take it to the next level.
Cool. Yeah, and kind of speaking about that, like, was Nipissing your first choice, like, when you figured out you wanted to take basketball to a higher level, or were there other schools interested? Like, what was the recruiting process there?
You know what? It was kind of a different recruiting process than other people. I'm from way up north, so we don't get a lot of like recruiters coming to like our games and stuff like that. But my coach had some connections with some coaches, and I met the coach in Nipissing and a couple other coaches at some camps that we had in Timmins. But it was kind of different in terms of it was my only offer, but I also didn't pursue anywhere else. I didn't email other coaches. I didn't go to any other camps or anything like that. It was just he approached me. The Nipissing coach approached me, and he said, "I want you to come play for me." And I thought, you know what? It's a smaller school, and there's a program that I want to take, and I can start sooner than the next year. So I thought, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go for it.
100%. And do you think the same sort of chance or Nipissing thought would have been there if your brother didn't go there first?
You know what? Probably not.
Yeah.
He was wanting me to come play with him, and we played together in high school, so it was fun then, and he would tell me all about it. I went with him on his recruitment visit, so I kind of already saw what the school looked like and what the gym was like, the facility, you know, what inside the actual school building looked like. So it was really interesting because I already felt like not like I went there, but like I knew of the school. So yeah, if he wasn't there, I don't know where I would be.
Yeah. It's a cool dynamic.
Yeah.
So transitioning from high school to Nipissing university ball, how has your sort of play or positioning or the game sort of changed in your eyes?
Well, I would say when I started high school, I was never the main ball carrier. I was never a point guard. I was kind of like, I was never a big scorer. Couldn't really shoot the ball very well, but I always worked hard, and that kind of stuck with me over the years. But once I hit grade 12, I had the ball in my hands coming up the floor every chance I got. And then when I got to university, it was right back to that like grade 9 kind of feeling again, where I didn't have the ball in my hands and I was just out there running, doing my thing, diving on loose balls, stuff like that. But I'm trying to get more into that point guard position more again, but I want to be able to do everything.
Yeah, so again, you've mentioned your brother quite a bit, Jack, obviously on the team as well.
Yeah.
Just talk a little bit more about him and his influence on you growing up, and and the competitive aspect between two brothers?
Oh, I hate it. I hate like.
It's like, 'cause he's better?
Not even, but it was always competitive, and growing up, he's 2 years older than me. So growing up, it was always he was noticeably better.
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually, when we got into like high school, it started to plateau where like our skills were he would win some, I would win some, but.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I would win something, we would have to play again. We would have to play again until he would beat me. Until eventually, I'm like, I don't even want to play anymore. But growing up, he played hockey, and he would always make me play like mini sticks with him, or make me go goalie when he would shoot pucks at me, and I hated it. So playing sports with him until a certain age was horrible. But once we hit like a certain age where I could actually compete with him, it became way more fun, and we started playing outside and on the street more, and getting in the gym together. So yeah, at a certain age, it became fun.
So this year you were a sophomore on the team, which is the second year, and you finally got your first minutes after being redshirting last year.
Yep.
What was that sort of like getting on the court for the first time?
Oh, I was nervous, man. It was so nervous because you watch every game and you see guys get in before you, and as soon as they mess up, they're subbing right off. So I was waiting, and you get out there and just immediately it's the nerves kick in, and I don't want to mess up. I don't want to be subbed off because I mess up. But eventually, you play enough, and I'm hoping next year I'm able to shake those nerves.
Your first points were also scored at the free throw line.
Oh,
what were you
God.
feeling when you were stepped up that line?
So it was a late game, and we needed to win the game, and I was subbed in for defensive reasons or something like that, and guys just weren't performing. So I was put in, and there was about 2 minutes left, and I play, and then there's a minute left. And it's a 9-point game, and I'm fouled, and our coach wants to score as much as possible, like for points wise, and I get fouled, and it's bonus, so I have to go to the line now and shoot 2 free throws. My hands were soaked, and I couldn't stop shaking. My knees were shaking, and I get to the line, and I could not tell you what I was thinking about, where I was looking. Oh man, I shot both free throws and made both, thankfully. So. It was magic.
Did you take any shots before these free throws, or was that your first shot and the first shot went in?
That was my first shot attempt. Yeah. Those free throws.
Hey,
first
it's a good
shot
way
attempt.
to get into it.
Oh yeah.
What do you think would have been the process if you missed those?
I would have been subbed off. I probably wouldn't have played the next couple of games, and yeah.
Like, there you go.
Glad I made those for sure.
So that was this year. Obviously, you've put in a lot of hard work, and you're starting to earn yourself some play time. What are some goals and sort of things you're looking forward to heading into your third year of basketball?
I was saying earlier that I wanted to get the ball in my hands more, and I think if I can, work on my dribbling or just even my confidence when I have the ball in my hand, just being able to make the right passes. I don't necessarily need to be the scorer on our team, but if I can do more with the ball in my hands, I think that will be a big plus for our team, and I need to start shooting better, so I'm going to be shooting a lot more.
Yeah, so like
getting shots up.
With the people that are leaving this year and sort of the players that are coming up through the system, obviously you don't know who the first years are going to be, but some of the players like yourself in first and second year this year moving up, having bigger roles.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like the look of your team for next year?
I do. I feel like we're gonna have great ball movement, and I feel like we've been playing together for a couple of years now. So like the core guys we have are gonna have a nice chemistry together, and I really think we're gonna have a winning season compared to last year anyway. And I think we're gonna be able to just move the ball better than we did last year.
Playoff bound.
Hopefully, that's the goal. That's the goal, right?
That's the main goal.
So a couple weeks ago, we had the athletic banquet, and you received the Lakers Pride Award for your team. The Lakers Pride Award represents the Lakers' values, which is passion, respect, integrity, determination, excellence. What does this honor sort of mean to you?
You know what? It was really special because my brother won it last year, and he's the captain of the team right now. So it was really cool knowing that just coming from that small city up north, and playing with some guys like from Toronto, Ottawa, stuff like that, and knowing that you can still be recognized if you're not leading the team in minutes or points or rebounds, but you're just trying your hardest and trying to make everyone else better too, and they really recognize that here, which is really cool.
So going back to the 5 sort of values that the Lakers honor, how does you start implement this into your game?
You know what? It's just it's always getting back on defense, and if you miss a shot, being the first one back and just talking, and if you're having a rough day shooting wise, then it doesn't mean you can't still make an impact. And like the passion's there, and just being on the bench, being loud if you're not getting in games. And the big thing is respect. You don't want to treat anyone poorly, because then you're building poor relationships with teammates. And then a big thing is determination. That's one of the 5 that we have. But the big thing is, if you're not at practice, or like if we're in the off season, just getting in the gym and doing whatever you can to make sacrifices for our team.
100%. I kind of wanted to, I kind of know it being in school with you, but for people that are younger or whatever, looking to play sports like you, what is something like school balance that people don't normally think about it? How hard is it to balance school with sport?
It's I wouldn't say you don't have time to do everything. It's just, if you want to fit in all the sports that you want to be able to do, like extra workouts, extra shots, but also still do fairly well in school, then that's really going to take up all your time, and you won't really have as much time. Weekends you're going to be spent either in the gym or doing school if you're not traveling, and trying to do schoolwork when you're on the road is always tough. But yeah, I'd say you still have some time to do your own thing, and getting lots of sleep is really important too. Sometimes this year I'd admit it, I'd sacrifice doing some studying or working on assignment just to get a quick hour nap in, or 20-minute nap. But yeah,
it's crazy hearing some of your stories, like having video or practice at 9 at night.
Oh, we would do video at 8:30 until 9, and then we'd start practice at 9, and sometimes we'd go till 11:30, and then by then you didn't eat anything before practice, so you have to go home, make food, and then
midnight.
And you have to do some school, and so
crazy.
After midnight.
But so now that the season's over, how does the coach keep in contact? What are your off-season workouts or schedules looking like?
So he actually just added something new for this year. I just read it in an email, actually. It's he's adding in a calendar that we can all fill in, and it's going to have our workouts that everyone can see.
Okay.
So guys that are staying this summer, it'll be a little easier to track, because he'll be working out with us, and we have multiple coaches that'll be able to get in with us. But if you're not here, you can just put into this calendar what you did today, what workouts you did, what shooting you did, and then that way everyone can see and kind of compare, and can compete with scores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What does a basic basketball workout entitle? What is your sort of breakdown of it? Like
a weight workout, or like a on-court workout? Okay, so a weight workout, normally what we try and do is during the year we kind of go lighter than your off season, which is kind of normal for most sports, and they kind of focus more on basketball specific movements, and you're not going to really work out muscles as often that you aren't going to use playing basketball, so you're going to not really worry about your back muscles too much, because you're not really going to be, you don't need them for as much you're doing with basketball. But then in the off season, you're working on everything, just trying to get overall your body stronger, ready for the next year. Always, if you could add on a couple inches to your vert is nice too, but you jump higher. But in an on-court workout, they're kind of different depending on what you're wanting to work out. Kind of just a leg day or shoulders, or it's kind of like that too, where you can work on just standstill shooting, and you can work on just 3-pointers, you can work on middies, or you can do a mix of everything, where you can take some garbage cans, set them up, make them screeners, and you can have a ball in your hand, and then you can work on floaters, layups. You could do a full workout where you're actually doing you do 200 makes, which is probably take you 45 minutes if you're alone, and you do make 5 layups on each side, then shoot a mid-range, then shoot a pull-up mid-range, then shoot a 3-pointer. So there's a lot of different combinations and stuff that you can do when you're just by yourself, or even with one other guy doing a workout.
That's what I find cool about basketball, apart from other sports. Hockey, you're practicing with a team. You're never on the ice by yourself that often. Where basketball, you'll have a team practice, and some players will stay around and do their own little shoot around. So if you're ever doing that, do you find because you have a style of game that you like to play, you're defensive, you said you're not a big shooter, you're a defensive minded guy sort of around the basket. Do you find that when you do your own little practice, you're refining skills you already have, or trying to create or better ones that you're not the greatest at?
So it's actually, I think, more during season, if it's November or late or mid-December when we just started our actual season, then it's not really smart for you to be working on new things that you're not good at. It's better, at this point in the season, work on the things that you are good at and make that even better, because there's no point in trying new things when you're not good at it yet, because you're not going to be good at it when you do it in game or in a practice to make other guys better. So yeah, once you're more in the off season, you can start working on things that you're not as good at.
Okay, cool. I'll take the next one. You can finish it off. So, pretend me and Noah are like a coach, right? And you're trying to get on our team.
Yeah.
Tell us why you are good on a basketball team, what your strengths are, maybe some what your weaknesses are.
Yeah.
To be honest and
Okay.
and try and get me and Noah to recruit you.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll be frank with you guys. My 3-point shot is lacking right
We've
now.
seen that. We've seen that in gym class.
You've seen that in
We've
gym
seen
class.
that.
That's fair.
I can teach you.
But you know what? I've been known to knock down a couple of shots. You could teach me. Yeah. I've been known to knock down a couple of shots if I need to, but I find, to play for you guys, it would be more for making our team better, not really making myself look good. And I'm here to get you guys wins, and I'm here to dive on the loose balls. I'm here to take 5 charges a game. I'm here to grab every rebound possible, and I'm here to run the floor and make sure guys are where they need to be on the floor. And in practice, I'll make sure guys know who they're guarding, or in games, I'll talk on the bench too, and I'll be loud for you guys. And I just want to do everything I can to make our team better.
So basically, Owen is a non-box scorer type of player.
Yeah.
He does all the important plays that don't show up on the box score, but they need to be they need to happen. When you said that, it brought up one more question. Actually, I want to bring up.
Go ahead.
How important is the bench for when the players are on?
A lot of guys don't think it's important at all and will pout or whatever, but that's so bad for like the morale or the energy on the bench. It's contagious, really.
Yeah.
If a guy on the floor does something good, you need to reward him, and you need to congratulate your teammates, and you need to get loud. Honestly,
Yeah.
be loud so that the guys on the floor know that what they're doing is well, and they know that they have the encouragement of the rest of the team. So if they make a mistake, that's okay. We're all going to give you a high five. We're still going to pat you on the back, and we know you can do better.
100%.
So you're what, 6'3"?
I'm 6'4" on a good day.
Okay, so
With shoes on.
6'4" when me and Brandon played high school would have been a big center for us. What's sort of your position 1 to 5? Where do you sort of fit in on your team?
So in high school, I was actually a point guard. So I was a 6'4" point guard in high school, which was really nice. I never posted up either, which was weird. I probably should have, but never did. But now we again have some smaller guards. So I'll play normally a 2, 3, maybe 4.
Like a small ball 4?
Yeah, but at times, like in one game we played this year, I subbed in at the 1, and then I played the 2, 3, and 4, and then at the end I subbed in at the 5. So in that one game I played all 5 positions, and that's another thing is that you need, like, if you want to play or even practice, you need to know more than one position. So like for each play you need to know every spot and where to go in, like, on defense, if you're the 5 or if you're the 4, anything like that. So that's something I pride myself on, is being able to know where I'm supposed to be at any position that I'm put at. So
If you could ideally choose, would you? Is there a spot you prefer, or do you like the fact that you roll all 5?
I like the fact that I can do all of them. If I had to be stuck at one, it'd probably be the 3. Just because you're not gonna mess up as much
No
as
pressure, bring the ball up. Yeah.
But I do love having the ball.
So let's say, you're going into your 3rd year. Let's go past university. What are your plans to sort of stay integrated with basketball past graduation?
So right now my plans are being a high school teacher. So if I can get in with their whatever basketball program they have at whatever school I'm at, I'm not sure where I'm going to live, but wherever I am, I still want to be involved with their basketball community that they have going on, whether it be rep if I'm more down south, or even just the high school team they have going on. And if I can get anything going with the team, I'd love to be involved and coach and stuff like that.
Is there any thought of like higher level play or higher level coaching, or?
I haven't really thought of it. I'm gonna say no, just because it's a lot of energy playing, like, even at university right now, and I can't see myself doing a career, or at least starting out a career in basketball before continuing with like an actual job or something like that. So right now I'd probably say no. I'm just gonna do my 4 years left I have in university, and then I think that'll be fairly good for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We talked about your brother a bit, but what did your parents sort of have for an influence on you growing up playing basketball?
Honestly, my parents were always super supportive. They're probably gonna watch this now. Hey mom, hey dad. They'll probably like that. But they've always been supportive, and they've loved that we've gotten into a sport, and they love that we're continuing to play it. They just want us to be happy, and if we're happy doing this, and they get to be happy watching us, and it's really great. My mom, she calls me a beast. But I'm her baby beast because I'm still the youngest child, and she still thinks of me as her little baby, and so yeah, I have that fun nickname, but she loves it.
I'm gonna start calling him that now.
Yeah,
please.
Thanks, Miss Hagerty.
Yeah, thank you.
What about your brother? What's his nick? Does he get a nickname? Or?
Bigger beast?
Biggest beast?
No, not even. I don't know. He's just he's like the older brother, so yeah,
that's funny. Yeah. And then. Been keeping up with the NBA at all?
Yeah, I have been.
You like the playoffs going on? How'd your fantasy league go?
I didn't get last, believe it or not.
I think
you came. No one might have come last, but
who won?
No, Tom.
Oh God, it was Kieran or Tyler.
It was Tyler. It was
I think Kieran won.
Yeah.
His team was crazy.
So you didn't do.
No, I didn't even. I stopped. I thought playoffs, like for our league, was actually going to start when playoffs start. So I stopped checking my team, and then next thing I know, I think I got 7th out of 10.
Jeez,
something like that, or 8th maybe, but yeah, I wasn't even the last place game, so that was pretty cool.
That's funny. So do you have any like surprise outcomes in the finals so far?
You know what, I'm
not the finals.
I'm loving the Kings. I'm loving Sacramento.
Yeah.
I loved De'Aaron Fox. I watched him when he played at Kentucky, and I've loved him ever since. Because he couldn't shoot threes at Kentucky and in high school, so I really I bonded to that. I was like, I like this guy. I can do what he does. He jumps way higher, but
So you like the beam bandwagon?
I love the beam. I hate to say it, but I am on the bandwagon. Yeah. But I'm loving Sacramento right now.
Would you consider yourself a Raptors fan, or are you some other team?
You know what? When I first got into basketball, it was like NBA. It was probably 2015, 2016 when they were getting stomped by Cleveland every year. Yeah, exactly. But I loved watching them, and I loved DeRozan and Lowry on the same team, and I did watch them a whole bunch. Powell and all those guys. But like right now, I just kind of watch whatever I can because most games are 8 o'clock at night, and I'm practicing during that, so I can't really watch them. But I have been following, and I do enjoy the Raptors, and if I ever get a chance to go to a Raptors game, I'll take that, no problem. But yeah.
So if you had to give us a NBA Finals prediction early round one,
oh man,
what would you say?
Lakers.
Oh.
Lakers.
But you're just on the Kings, man.
I am, but it's LeBron.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm gonna go Lakers I want to go Celtics.
Lakers, Celtics.
Celtics.
Okay. One more quick question, and I'm going to go into a little bit of a would you rather basketball edition.
Yeah, sure.
So what is your sort of go-to advice, line, or saying to better yourself or to better your team or kids? Like advice to give kids?
Honestly, it's give effort and don't be afraid to dive on the floor. If I can sum it up in one line, it's just dive on the floor.
Give the effort.
Give it all you can. When you're on the floor, you should come off exhausted.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're just gonna go into a quick would you rather, just basketball-based questions.
Yeah, for sure.
First one: would you rather airball a 3-pointer or miss a wide open layup?
Okay, so I've done both, and I think I would rather airball a 3-pointer, which I did this year in game, by the way.
Nice.
My only 3-point attempt was an airball.
I think you do watch me do that every gym class.
I do. I do.
What do you think's most embarrassing for me when you watch me do it?
You know what? I'd rather airball a 3-pointer myself than watch you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, would you rather end up on a posterizer or an ankle breaker?
Oh, posterizer. Because an ankle breaker, you look. There's no trying to save it, If you get postered, you still tried to block their shot and they just jumped higher, You still put in the effort. But an ankle breaker, you just got dropped.
Have you also had both of those happen to you?
I've been dunked on, but I've never not in game, just in a practice, but like a scrimmage, I think. But I've never been dropped that I can think of. Never happened.
Do you think it would matter if your ankles got broken if the person made the basket or not, or are you going to be embarrassed either way?
I think personally, I don't think it matters if you make the basket or not, because that's not really the play. The play was the you get dropped. So I would be embarrassed either way. I would hope it didn't go in, but then you still get the stop. So.
I think I know your answer to this, but personal accolades or team accolades?
I go team accolades all the way.
That's what I thought you'd say. Yeah. I think that's about it. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add. Brandon, you have anything else?
No, I think that was great.
I think we'll end it off. I want to thank you for getting up your time.
Yeah, for sure.
Your precious
I
time.
hope I can come back and do this again. Maybe next year when I get more
next
playing
year,
time.
yeah, we'll bring you back on.
You and your brother on.
Okay, yeah,
That'd be fun.
go.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
But that'll be it. Again, we want to thank Owen.
Cool.
I can't say I thought I was gonna say that again. If not, but yeah, we're back. We did take a very big break. What was it, like 8 months?
7, I just checked.
7 months. Without a video. I'll just say the excuse we're gonna use is school. Let's say that we're done school. As you can tell, I'm in my room. Brandon is still at school. I believe he has his last exam tomorrow. So let's hope his parents don't watch this because he should be studying.
By the time this video comes out, I'll be home too. So
okay, there it is. Brandon will be home by the time you guys are watching this. So yeah, it's okay. He'll be done. So we'll all be done. We're back home. We're hoping to jump back on the weekly podcast grind and talk about some sports. Obviously, it's a big sports topic right now as the NHL playoffs and NBA playoffs just started. I think we're going to just focus on the NHL playoffs today. As you're watching this, every series is 2 games in. We're recording this on the Thursday, so yesterday, if you're watching it on the day it came out, but we made our predictions pre playoff start, so we're not gonna change based off what the series are at right now. We are still gonna go off what we had before the playoffs.
yeah, and I mean it's Thursday at 5 p.m. so we haven't seen the Thursday games yet. So
True, the Thursday games the Tuesday games have only played their first game. So
yeah,
I think we're gonna start in the West. We're gonna do this series, then we're gonna go over to the East, do the first series, and we're gonna go to the semifinals and then conference finals, and eventually to the Stanley Cup finals. We'll start with the Central 1 and Wild Card 1, which is the Colorado Avalanche and the Seattle Kraken, who the Kraken are making their first first playoff appearance, considering they came into the league last year.
yeah. This one they play tonight, so it's only been one game. Carolina, Seattle won that one, but my prediction was Colorado. I think before I said Colorado in 5. That might not happen, but I still believe in Colorado personally. They were battling with Dallas the whole season, so their players they didn't get a rest, where I think Seattle rested their players the last game of the season. So Colorado's been playing playoff hockey for quite some time because all the injuries to catch back up, and it was still a close game. Just Colorado couldn't score, and I don't see that being a problem for them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're defending Stanley Cup champions. Got to put some sort of respect on them. I feel like players like Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar can just sort of take over a series, and not to mention Mikko Rantanen. I took Colorado in 6 before the playoffs started, just because I think Seattle, especially in the Climate Pledge Arena, I feel like game 3 and 4 is going to be absolutely nuts in there, considering it's their first ever playoff game in Seattle. But I took Colorado in 6. I'm pretty confident to stick with Colorado in 6 for that series.
I like that. I like that too. I can't wait to see game 3 though. The Sea of Blue.
That's gonna be nuts. When is it? It's got to be what? They play tonight, so it'll be Saturday.
Yeah, April 22nd.
Cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So you want to go to the 2-3 Dallas Stars, Minnesota?
Dallas and Minnesota would be next. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's 1-1. Obviously Minnesota had a crazy double OT win in game 1, and then Dallas kind of laid it on them last night. Honestly, I said Minnesota in 7 in this series. I think the series can go either way. Dallas has looked like the better team in my opinion. I did stay up and watch the whole double overtime in game 1. Dallas was all over them. Minnesota kind of got one chance and scored on it. And then as the 7-3 score shows, Dallas looked a lot better last night. So 2 games, I think Dallas looked better, and the series is still 1-1. So it'll be close.
Yeah, I took Dallas in 5. which still could happen. Like you said, they've been the
100%.
better team. Yesterday they won 7-3, obviously losing Joe Pavelski. He's not traveling with the team for games 3 and 4, so that's a big loss as he is a known playoff performer, even as he gets up there in age. I'm sure I'm pretty confident it's gonna go more than 5 just based off the two teams. It's a very fun series to watch. You can tell both teams don't really like each other. I still do think Dallas is going to take the series, and I got to stay to my Dallas in 5. But personally, I think it's going to go past 5 now. Well, after watching
Yeah,
two games,
100%. Um, okay, so I
then we
guess
get
we go next one.
Winnipeg.
Probably the biggest upset so far. We have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets obviously winning game one, 5-1. Their next game is tonight, so we don't know the score of that yet. But Winnipeg with a commanding game one win in Vegas with that crowd roaring. I'll let you start it off, but that was a pretty electric win.
Yeah, it was. I didn't stay up to watch the game because I had an exam the next day, unfortunately. So, um, I didn't. I watched the highlights yesterday after my exam. I took Winnipeg in 7. I just with the uncertainty in Vegas's net, Brossoit didn't look amazing, and Connor Hellebuck looked like the goalie he is in game one. That was mainly why I took them in Winnipeg in 7. I feel like that with uncertainty in the Vegas goal and having players like Scheifele, Ehlers if he comes back, having players that could put the puck in the net. I just had felt uncertain taking Vegas, so that's why I took Winnipeg in 7 based off Connor Hellebuck just sort of stealing the series.
Yeah, I took Vegas in 5 just because I thought, like you said, Hellebuck would be able to steal a game. Um, I guess it's still possible, but I doubt it at this point. I think that because Winnipeg had like one of the worst post All-Star break records in the league. They could not find a way to win post All-Star break, and it was really just because they couldn't score it. Hellebuck's been good all season, but obviously game 5, their top 6 came game 1, their top 6 came alive, and if those guys can keep it rolling, Vegas is in trouble, especially with that goaltending. And I thought Vegas wouldn't have a problem uh like offensively. Obviously it'd be hard to score on Hellebuck, but I thought they'd kind of control play where I think through like 2 periods they had like 16 shots, 15 shots on
Mhm.
game 1, so they're not looking the greatest right now. And then the last one, I guess, Edmonton and LA,
Edmonton,
probably.
LA. This this was before I took pick that made this pick before I ended up taking LA players in a hockey pool I'm in. I had LA in 7. I don't know. It's a weird feeling. I liked LA's defensive style. Like I was saying to Brandon, they only had 1 point per game player this year, and it was Kevin Fiala, and he did it in like 67 games. Like he didn't even play a full 82. They didn't have a point per game player that played a full over 75 games. We'll say that. I just sort of liked how last year there was a good series. Um, I picked LA last year. And I feel like LA just sort of could learn from that last year, even though they haven't looked like the better team in the first 2 games, yet somehow they're still split after an overtime goal. Um, and yeah, McDavid hasn't looked like McDavid. Drysdale's looked good. McDavid has 1 point in 2 games, and you expect a lot more from a guy that put up 150 points in the regular season. But I'm hoping LA can sort of keep him shut down and focus on getting the puck past Stuart Skinner. Doesn't help whenever they only had 3 shots after the first period last night.
Yeah, no, for sure. Edmonton has looked like the better team, but I had LA in 7. Or no, I had Edmonton in 7.
Edmonton 7.
I mean it went 7 last year. Basically LA got Drew Doughty. They didn't have him last year, and Edmonton got Ekholm from via trade at trade deadline. So they both just added a nice defenseman. But the teams are pretty similar as they were last year. It went 7. It was a great series. I mean, through the first 2 games, I think it shows it's going to be again. It's been close, not a whole lot of goals. Um, I think this game 3 is very pivotal. Like if LA wins this game 3 at home, it almost feels like that's game 4 is a must win for Edmonton in home. And then vice versa. If Edmonton win games 3, it almost feels like LA can't drop both at home. So
Gonna drop,
I
yeah.
think game 3 is going to be probably very dirty, very intense. And I can't wait to watch that one. But I got
Yeah,
Edmonton in 7.
Edmonton 7, yeah. So we both have it going to 7, just different ways.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
McDavid's got to
Next,
wake up, right?
sorry?
Gotta wake up, right?
I wake up, yeah. Moving over to the East, um, the first top series is a Atlantic one, which is the President's Trophy winning Boston Bruins against Florida, who had to battle it out till the end to end up getting a playoff spot. I took Florida in six. I went with the big underdogs. Obviously, Boston breaking the win record this year. I sort of just based off older President's Trophy winners, like I kind of based it off the Columbus Blue Jackets and Tampa Bay series a couple years ago. Obviously, they're not going to sweep them because Boston won game one, but Florida has looked like the better team in both the games, in my opinion. Last night, Florida's offense exploded for a 7-3 win, and even game one, I think they outplayed them, and I think Lions just sort of had to let two squeakers in, and going back to Florida, it's going to be a big two games. I think there's more pressure on Boston, honestly, right now, going back to Florida, than there is on Florida. I think Florida's sort of getting under Boston's skin, getting in their heads a bit and making them think about it.
100%. I had Boston in five as a boring pick. But I kind of agree with you. I do believe in the President's Trophy curse. I just didn't think it would happen in the first round. Like Florida has had to battle for this playoff spot. With the Islanders and Noah's Penguins the whole season long. They've been playing their players, where Boston's kind of been able to take games easy, having the President's Trophy in first place since like 2 months into the season. So I thought Boston would come out with a little more jump. Maybe losing your captain is hurting them a lot more than we thought it might. And like Noah said, Florida, in my opinion as well, has looked like the better team in both games. So and that's in Boston. That's a very hard place to play. So Boston could be in some trouble here.
For sure. Moving down, we have Brandon's Leafs, who did not look like their best form in game one Tuesday night. Hopefully that Brand's hoping they can bounce back tonight against the team that's made it to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years in a row, which is the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'll let you go second, so I'll go ahead first. I took Toronto in five. Now, after game one, it's not looking too good. Toronto would have to win four straight for that to happen. However, I still do see Toronto winning this series. As much as it pains me to say that the Leafs are going to win a series for the first time since what, 03?
Yeah.
03. Um, I think that they're the better team on paper. The only thing that I believe Tampa has over them is goaltending. Samsonov has been a fine goalie for the whole season. Obviously, you're going against probably the best, in my opinion, the best all-around goalie in the league in Vasilevsky. I just think Tampa's got to be tired, and obviously losing Chernak. Well, Toronto lost Bunting on a 3-game suspension after that hit, but losing Chernak's a great shutdown defenseman, and Victor Hedman is game time decision tonight. So losing your possibly two of your top three defensemen is going to be big in this series for Tampa if Chernak and Hedman are both not able to return.
Yeah, you make a good point. I had Toronto in six just because we all know what happens to Toronto if it goes to game seven. Um, yeah, it was a bad game one, obviously, but I think losing like that in front of your home fans, they're gonna come out, and I'm looking forward to watching this first period. I think the Leafs are gonna be electric in the first period of game two. There's no way they go down 3-0 at home again after the performance they just had. And like you said, defenseman problems for Tampa Bay. Obviously, you got Vasilevsky back there, but it's hard for him to shine as much as he can with the defenseman he's got now. We were saying what Ian Cole's probably his second best defenseman right now. So
If Hedman doesn't play, yeah, I'd
if
say
Edmund doesn't play, which I'm looking and there's still no,
no word
we're
on it.
really not going to know until 7 o'clock tonight. But yeah, Chernak's a big one. Michael Bunting being suspended might be actually a gift for the Leafs. Um, so yeah, I still think the Leafs can pull this one out as well. But they definitely got to come out game two and show that they are a team not to be messed with
Yeah,
because
it'd be a tough look if Toronto comes out and looks absolutely terrible again.
they were so flat.
Yeah, moving on to Carolina, the Islanders. Obviously, Carolina's up 2-0. They have looked like the better team substantially in this series. I'd had Carolina in six. Honestly, I could see the Islanders getting swept. They don't look like a good hockey team out there. Carolina, obviously, without Svechnikov for the rest of the season. And then they just lost Teuvo Teravainen to a broken hand in the last game. Obviously, that's a big loss. He's probably was one up there as one of their better players. And now he's gone. So it's a couple more players just gonna have to take the load offensively. But based off that, Islanders just look slow. They look like they're not really ready for Carolina, and I'm taking Carolina in the series, but it might be done before 6, for my opinion.
See, I had the Islanders in 6, and I honestly think it's still possible. Um, just like what you said, the Carolina Hurricanes, the injuries are hitting them hard. I totally agree with you. They have looked better substantially in both games. I just looked at the shots. Carolina outshot them by more than 10 in both games. And yet we say all this, and Carolina only won both games by 1 goal. The New York, they know how to keep the puck out of the net. If they can find a couple goals, which is, I mean, we've been saying this for a decade now, but if their offense can find a couple games in them, then they're definitely not out of it. And like you said, a playoff series doesn't start till a team loses at home. So I think we're still far from done here.
Agreed. And then the final first round matchup, two New York teams are playing each other. We have the Devils and the Rangers. Obviously,
Yeah,
the Rangers took game 1. The Devils looked a bit slow. Obviously, I think it's their first playoff game in like 2, 3, 4 years, maybe
that's a
more,
good question.
maybe
I have no
maybe 4 or 5 years. You want to give your pick first?
idea. I had Rangers in 6. I believe experience, even though they don't have much, is better than the 0 that the Devils have. Um, I think the Devils are going to be a great team in the quite immediate future, but the Rangers just got the better team right now. The goalie, a lot better, obviously, Shesterkin. And I mean, they showed it really. Game 1, they won 5-1. I think the Devils are in the same position as the Leafs, as they got blown out at home, and they really have something to show tonight in
No,
game 2. And like I said, same position as the Leafs. If they don't come out strong, then they could be in some serious trouble in this one.
no kidding. I took Rangers at 7. I just feel like the Devils. I don't know. Even at the start of the year, I was never really like sold on the Devils. Coming into the year, during the year, still not really sold, but I think that with the trades they made and the players they made, the pieces they have, I think they could force this to 7. Obviously, it would be in New Jersey if it was in 7, if it makes it to game 7. But I just think, like you said, the experience of the Rangers trumps the Devils, where they don't have very much. Like I think Dougie Hamilton and Timo Meyer is about all they got. And I guess Andre Palat helps, him being up there. He's been in a lot of big playoff games. I'm sure he's a big vocal guy in the room. But I just think that the Devils are on the right track, but I don't think it's just yet.
100%. Totally agree with that.
Do we want to go into them, or do we want to save that for like next week's episode?
Going to what?
Go into the next rounds.
You can just save it for when it gets there. We can do like a Stanley Cup prediction if you want,
Yeah, let's give our Stanley Cup.
because we
Who did you
both did the
take?
full bracket, right?
No, just do Stanley Cup.
No, I know, but you like did a bracket, so you
I
know
did a
who's
full
gonna win that,
bracket.
right? Yeah, yeah.
I took Dallas. I just sort of found them as a
Against two.
Hey?
Against two.
Oh, Rangers.
And Dallas wins it.
Dallas wins it over the Rangers. As much as it pained me to put the friggin' Rangers in there, fans piss me off, but they're too good of a team in my opinion for me to not put them in there. And the Stars, I just feel like they're an all-round strong team. They got a really star-studded goalie in Jake Ottinger, who showed last year that he can be a playoff performer, and he is the goalie of Dallas's future. They got a superstar player in Jason Robertson, and then they got a bunch of um sort of subs pieces like Jamie Benn's still good. Tyler Sagan can put the puck in the net the odd time. If Pavelski comes back, he's a known playoff performer. And you got young guys like Rope Hans, Miro Heiskanen. You got Ryan Suter, who's a vet on D. I just feel like they have a really solid team, and I wanted to go with like a team that like not that nobody talks about, but a team that not very many people probably are picking to win the cup.
100%. I think we both have the Rangers in the Stanley Cup Finals. Funny thing about the playoffs and the cool thing about the playoffs is you have Dallas there, who I don't have coming out of the first round, and I have Edmonton in the finals, who you don't have coming out of the first round. So I'm going with an Eastern Conference champion, though I think it's the Rangers' year. They say people might say they only have 1 year of playoff experience, but they made to the Eastern Conference Finals last year against Tampa Bay in 6, so they know what it takes. I believe they got a really well-rounded team. Obviously, they added a lot of vets at the deadline with Tarasenko and Kane. And this team looked pretty good through game one, and we'll see how the rest of it goes. But I like
For
the
sure.
Rangers this year.
I think we're gonna wrap it up there. It's a bit of a short sports-based podcast, but we hope you enjoyed the interview that was before this. Make sure you guys enter the giveaway that was put in the interview. It's really easy to do it. All you gotta do is DM us with your proof that you liked this video and subscribed. And like we said, we hope to continue starting up again on these weekly podcasts, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.